All right, so here is the easiest way that I know to make magic ring. This is easy peasy yarn from Wibbles. So we're going to start and we're just going to lay the end over our fingers. Grab it. Going to go over 2 fingers once, just wrapping it. But then we cross over the second one. We're just going to squish it in between those 2 fingers. Okay, I'm still holding this tail. I've got this end squished between those 2 fingers. Okay, so we're going to take our hook. We go under the first one and grab this far one and pull it. We're going to pull it towards us and up. Okay, so you have that little twist. So if you want to see it again, okay, here's our cross. We go under the first one, grab this one, pull down towards you. Okay, now we still have this guy we're holding, and we're still holding this tail. And this is the trickiest bit for me. We're going to go under this far one again, and we're just pulling it through this loop. Okay, so I'm going to move my fingers so I can hold it and pull through. Okay, so once again, I have to undo the whole thing, sorry. Here we are. We have our cross. It's just moved a little bit, but it's still there. Okay, so we go under, over, pull towards us, under the far one, move our fingers, pull through. Okay, and that's like our slip knot. That doesn't count as a chain yet. Okay, so then we have our tail, or our working yarn, and then we have our loop. Here's our tail. Doesn't matter if it's twisted around in here, but if you want, you can pull it out. Okay, but you want this tail to pretend that it's part of this side of the loop. Everything you're doing is with both of those pieces of yarn. Okay, so now I have this, my middle finger pushing down on the loop, so I have some tension. Okay, and I'm pulling back with this finger. Okay, so we go underneath. This is like, we're just doing a single crochet, and we're pretending that this is a really big loop stitch. So we go under both the tail and the loop, grab the yarn, back under. Okay, that's the first part of single crochet. Grab it again. I'm holding the yarn here, so it's easier to go through those 2 loops. Okay, that's our first chain. All right, still have our tail with our loop. Okay, we're going to do another one. Still pulling down. See your tension? Okay, and can still control this like this. All right, so we're underneath both the tail and the loop. Grab our yarn. Okay, make sure this loop is a little bit bigger. I make these loops a little bit bigger than normal, so they're easier to get into for that first round. Okay, grab this again, single crochet, pulling this. Okay, 2 chains, 1, 2. All right, next one, grab it, around, 3 chains, 1, 2, 3. All right, this has a tendency to twist, so you need to kind of like squish it, make it stay in line, but the biggest thing will be when we make it into the circle, and we can control it that way. So one more. See, this is twisted? Doesn't matter. It's fine, as long as it's together. Underneath. Yarn over. Make sure this loop is big enough. I just made it a little looser. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like our slip knot. That doesn't count. Okay. And now we can pull our tail. This one only takes 4. We can pull our tail Okay, and when I'm pulling it, we can take this out. When I'm pulling it, I'm holding these so they're nice and straight, so they don't twist. I want it to be nice and straight, so I just pinch it between these two fingers. So just, it's not tight, but it's holding it straight. Or you can go like this. Okay, 2 fingers underneath. Pulling the tail. Okay, and while I pull, keeping those nice and straight. Okay, there's a little bit of a hole here. That's okay. Like I said, this is 4. 4 is tricky. It's very small. And I can always tighten it after I do my first round. So now I can control this. I like to put a stitch marker in my last stitch. So put that in there. Okay. And then here are my stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that little guy is my knot, basically. Pretend it's your knot. Okay? So then our first stitch, we're going to go over here, underneath here. 1, 2 parts of our V. Do our single crochet. Okay. So this is the last stitch of the magic circle. There's our first stitch. All right. And we just do our first round. And these can get super tight, so I always kind of push them out, especially on those things like the beaks and the arms and things like that. If you push them out early, then your stitches don't get too stretched out. You have a nice tight circle. Okay. All right, and there's our last stitch here. Oops. That just went on the floor. And there's our last stitch. Okay, so there you go. Now, that circle is a little bit big, but if I wanted to, I could always yank on that tail and make it a little tighter. All right, hope that helps.